What's up, guys? Welcome to the Line Change. And in this particular video, we're going to be talking about the fact that the Vancouver Canucks have called the Buffalo Sabres on JJ Peterka. Now, this is a report going out there, and it is a report by Frank Seravalli of Daily Faceoff. I know that he's probably not the most reliable person to get a scoop on, but at the same time, why wouldn't the Canucks call on JJ Peterka, or rather, call the Buffalo Sabres on JJ Peterka? Any team, and probably a lot of teams, are calling on JJ Peterka, and his availability and whatnot. So we're gonna discuss an article, break it down, talk about it, and discuss the potential of the Canucks targeting JJ Peterka and perhaps, eyeing him for a trade. But before we do that, I'm going to give a quick thank you to my sponsor, Gassy Jack Art, maker of that incredible artwork you see there behind me. So I'm going to go ahead and say thank you to Gassy Jack Art. You can find him at GassyJackArt.com. He, of course, has his end of season sale still going on. Buy 4 prints, get 2 for free. You can find him on Instagram as well at GassyJackArt. So go ahead and check him out, GassyJackArt.com. Let's go ahead and dive into this article, mentioning that the Canucks have called the Buffalo Sabres about Peterka, and we're also going to talk a little bit about Bowen Byram as well, and the fact that the Canucks have some interest, quote unquote, in Bowen Byram. But we're mainly going to be talking about JJ Peterka in this video. This article is from our friends at Canucks Army. Tyler Kuhl, I probably mispronounced that last name, is the one who wrote this article. And he says the Vancouver Canucks are reportedly interested in a couple of young Buffalo Sabres who might be on the trade block. When making an appearance on Halford and Brough on Sportsnet 650 on Wednesday, Daily Faceoff insider Frank Seravalli mentioned that the Canucks could be one of the teams interested in Sabres forward JJ Peterka. They might also potentially be taking a look at defenseman Bowen Byram. I will leave a link to the article in the description down below for you guys to read, as there is a tweet from Halford and Brough within the article. You guys can check that out on X. And then it goes on to quote Seravalli as saying, I believe Vancouver is one of the teams that's been closely following and has called the Sabres on the JJ Peterka file. Seravalli said, at varying points, I think they've had some interest in what a Bowen Byram deal could look like. So that part has been ongoing. Peterka's name has been circulating in trade circles over the past few days as a potential extension for the German winger might not come to pass for the team in Western New York. He is a pending restricted free agent after wrapping up his entry-level contract this past season, during which he achieved his best performance to date, scoring 27 goals and 41 assists for 68 points in 77 games. The 23-year-old has a lot of upside to his game, showing that he can be a consistent scoring threat on a miserable Sabres team, with the Canucks recently losing a couple of key scoring pieces last season, and the unknown of what shape Elias Pettersson will be in next fall. They could definitely use a little more offensive punch. It isn't known if Buffalo is interested in simply trading his signing rights, or if it will be where the Sabres sign Peterka to an extension before trading him elsewhere, similar to the Matthew Tkachuk to the Florida Panthers. If the Sabres do not make a move before July 1st, they could be subject to seeing Peterka sign an offer sheet and either be forced to match whatever the contract details are or accept the draft capital in return. Byram is an interesting case. The former 4th overall pick is coming off the best season in his 6 years in the NHL. In 82 games with Buffalo, he registered 7 goals and 31 assists for 38 points, good for third on the team in defensive scoring with a plus-minus of +11. Like Peterka, Byram is set to be an RFA in a few weeks, though he has arbitration rights. His latest contract carried an AAV of $3.85 million over 2 seasons, a bridge deal that would hopefully lead to a larger contract. According to cap wages, the Canucks have a little less than $14 million in cap space next season, with only a few important names set to become UFAs on July 1st. But getting back to Peterka, obviously, what team, as I mentioned at the start, what team wouldn't be interested or calling on a guy like Peterka? I mean, you saw it right there. Talking about, him having 68 points, 27 goals. Where was it? Yeah, 27 goals, 41 assists, 68 points in 77 games. German winger, he obviously can rack up the points. He knows how to put the puck in the net. And also, obviously, for those of you that have kind of followed along with Peterka himself, appears he wants out of Buffalo. He's, everyone, it's basically well known Buffalo is not a very good team, and they have been stuck in, mired, quote unquote hell for several years now. They're very tired of losing, and they want to be competitive. But the question is, can they even be competitive, or are they just looking to continue to rack up the draft picks and whatnot? But it appears as though, or the report is out there, that JJ Peterka wants out of Buffalo, and we obviously don't know if he's gone to the Sabres and said, I want out. So that also begs the question, would the Sabres even be willing to move him? If they're looking to, get out of their losing ways, you would think they would want to keep somebody like Peterka on their roster and, build a team around him. I know they have guys like Josh Norris. They have guys like Tyler Benson, who's like up and coming. You have a bit of a veteran in Norris. Obviously you have Tage Thompson as well. But it appears as though Peterka wants out. He wants to go to perhaps a contending team or just a better team in overall. But just hearing the fact that the Canucks have called the Buffalo Sabres and have inquired about Peterka is huge. I do think when it comes to acquiring Peterka, it's going to cost the Canucks a lot. I feel as though, and actually if I was Buffalo, I would want a haul for Peterka. I mean, yes, Canucks could potentially maybe even do a trade involving both Peterka and Byram and acquiring both. But I'll admit I'm leaning more towards acquiring maybe Peterka. I think our decor is pretty solid, and I feel as though we don't necessarily need Byram. Now, of course, in regards to Byram, he is a backup plan in case Quinn Hughes decides to leave, and that is the thinking of the Canucks. Yes, there's the hometown factor with Byram. I'll admit I have always been a big fan of Byram, dating back to his Vancouver Giant days. I should say my dad was a season ticket holder for the Giants, and I believe we, just prior to them moving out to Langley, was when we were season ticket holders. And I believe Byram was still a part of the Giants at that point. Or it was like his last year with the Giants. I could be wrong about that, but I do remember Byram being a part of the Giants. I do think it would be great to have Byram on this team, but I also think at the same time, our decor is pretty stacked. Right now, our focus should be on offense. So obviously getting Peterka would most certainly help with that. He's a winger too. And as much as we need, 2, maybe 3 centers, we also need some wingers. And Peterka is also pretty young, and it would be great to develop him here and bring him here. But I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys think about this report? from Frank Zaravelli that the Canucks have, in fact, called the Buffalo Sabres, inquiring about Peterka. Do you guys think there's a possibility that the Canucks will, pull the trigger and, be willing to give up what Buffalo wants in exchange for Peterka? That's if they even want to, move on from him. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. And as always, if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. If you want to stay up to date on all your Canucks content, whether that's Vancouver Canucks or the Abbotsford Canucks, be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single video. You can find us on social media. Find us on Facebook. Just search The Line Change to find our Facebook page. You can find us on Instagram at The Line Change. Find us on X at LineChangeVan. You can find us on TikTok at the.line.change.po. And feel free to give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. You can, if you prefer an audio version of this podcast, you can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. On Spotify, once again, feel free to give us a follow as well as rate and review us. It's greatly appreciated. That's going to do it for me. And in this video, once again, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about the possibility of JJ Peterka being a trade target for the Vancouver Canucks. And also, what do you guys think about the Canucks having called on him and specifically asked about Peterka himself? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, let's go Canucks. Let's go Abby. Big game tonight. And I'll see you guys in the next video.